They were hiding turkey legs in the kettle and, leaving no leftovers on the menu. But Ian's here to give us the leftovers on that Thanksgiving massacre. So, Ian, go ahead and take it away.
I appreciate it. Yeah, to recap, the Cowboys got off to another slow start, but fortunately, Ron Rivera had no intention of punishing them. Twice he punted after entering Cowboy territory. But Washington had a solid plan of dominating time of possession in order to limit the Cowboys' explosive plays. Dak and the offense eventually got going and were able to take a 20-10 lead at the half after scoring just before the break. For Washington, the second half started well, but as the third quarter ended with the score still at 20-10, the ticking game clock became a ticking time bomb for the Commandos. The Dallas offense scored, then scored again, while the defense recorded consecutive fourth down stops. As the lead ballooned to 28, America's team began to celebrate like the rest of America after Dak celebrated with a turkey leg chomp after his third passing touchdown. Bland got in on the festivities with another pick six, setting a new NFL record. And that was basically the end of the game. Well, way before then, but it was a nice way to finish the game for all Cowboys involved. So boys, what do we think about that game, man? Quite dominating, and another Cowboys win that just followed the blueprint to perfection into the fourth quarter, into the final period, and then with the opposing team, with their backs against the wall and the game expiring, forcing plays can no longer use the clock to sustain drives. They make mistakes, and it fell right into the Cowboys' trap.
Yeah, yeah, no. Offensive game plan. Shout out McCarthy. That was beautiful. Execution. Dak threaded some needles, threw some like pinpoint passes, and then the run game was pretty great as well. Tony Pollard with that TD. I know y'all aren't the biggest Tony Pollard fans, but there's nothing to complain about there at all. And so, no, offensively, a masterpiece. Defensively, you allowed one touchdown, one drive that was decent, I guess. But no, dude, it was a perfect game, really.
No, they did what they were supposed to. Even though our boy Bland got history, that man was kind of frustrating.
History.
So, okay,
Jim
I know
Nance.
we were texting during the.
Yeah, I kind of feel like we should.
We can address it. So we were texting during the game, and I know. So that scoring drive that Washington has, there are three passes that are on Deron Bland, and it is what led to their sole touchdown. And Justin texts at some point. He goes, "Watch, he's going to get an interception, and everyone's going to forget about this." And it did occur. That's exactly what happened. He gets the pick, and he breaks the record. I know that uh, you believe that it's overshadowed the entire game, and he did kind of mess up a little bit there. But I don't think you need to hate that much.
No one's hating. I'm just saying
No,
it
you're
wasn't his best game of the year.
Somebody's hating.
It wasn't
give
his
us
best
go
game
ahead,
of the
Chief.
year, and I don't know. Like, I wish obviously Diggs could come back because all three of them together would have been really nice. But I think it's just very, I don't know, it's very concerning. I hope he has a better game this upcoming week, considering what they're facing in Seattle, those three wide receivers coming up. So, I mean, it was nice to see the old man Gilmore turn back the clock. He put on his best Trayvon Diggs impression and shutting down Terry McLaurin. But I'm gonna need more of that. I'm gonna need. It looks like Gilmore in the groove. I'm gonna need Bland to get back into a groove because not to be hard on the man, but it wasn't his best game of the year. Despite shout out to him for making history though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely a hater on Deron Bland, which is funny because like if you look at his stats, he's just blowing it out of the water. I mean, this thing is going around where it's better to just spike the ball than it is to throw in his direction. But I'm totally agree with Justin. It's just man, he was at fault for the only touchdown drive. I don't know why I feel like a need to expose Bland as not as good a corner as he is, but I just think there are things he can work on. But it's nice to see him, make history and whatnot. I would also like to see it happen in big games because I think this has come against weaker competition, and it has never come in the clutch. It's come more in kind of like how we've been describing these last 4 games of the Cowboys, the blueprint of the offense setting up a 2-score lead, the offense taking the lead, and the defense, springing the trap and taking advantage of it.
Well, hold on, because you said in the clutch, was he not the one who batted away he had the pass deflection against the Chargers that prevented them from scoring when they were in the red zone, like late in the game?
That's just doing his job.
Well, okay, but you're saying you say he only does it when it doesn't matter.
No,
I
think Ian's point is like, can you do it? Can you not to be like, oh, the Dak criticism people, but like I think his point is, okay, like, hey, it would have been nice in that Philly game if one of those pick sixes came there, or nice.
Okay. Do you guys remember? I think it was that Philly game where the ball hit him right in the hands and he didn't come up with the play, and I just remember thinking all right, we hyped this guy up, but this is the time you need to make the play.
This sounds like the conversation that all of America's having where the Cowboys haven't beaten anyone good, and you're doing Duran hasn't had an interception against anyone good. You can only play the games you play. No, man. Look, don't get me wrong. I pointed out that touchdown drive that Washington has. There are 3 completions across his face that he needs to shut down that allowed them to drive down there. But y'all are wet blanketing it. I can't speak. Wet blanketing right now, I guess. I don't know what I'm going for there.
You know me. I always get into the narratives of what the media talks about. And when they start comparing Bland to Diggs, you might be right. I'm totally wet blanketing this thing. But, I mean, like Justin's point earlier was, man, can you imagine if both of them were on the field right now? They would just – I think both of them would be feasting with picks. And
yeah, I think for both of us, we just both missed Diggs, and we're letting that cloud our critique.
Yeah.
Okay.
But let's go over to the offensive side of the field, because not only was Weezy sticking up for our player, another Cowboy player that we were hating on in Duran Bland, but also in Tony Pollard. I think, I know I can speak for myself. Not impressed with the man, but Rudy, I think you had different opinions and might want to call me on being another wet blanket on the offensive side.
Yeah, I mean, look, he started extra slow in the season. Don't get me wrong. We were calling for, more of Rico Dowdle, splitting carries. And again, I'm still a proponent of use the players on your team, use both of them. But what Tony Pollard did in this week and last week, he's definitely picked it up a bit. He's getting more physical, lowering the shoulder. His touchdown, yes, the blocking also has improved, so shout out the O-line because now they're actually creating a lane. And then when he gets to the next level, he's still going forward past the linebacker and the secondary. So, no, I think he deserves some credit after the last few performances.
I just hope that I hope that Mike McCarthy uses him more as a compliment, more so than we gotta, really get him going. Right now, I think, and it's as evidence as we've seen, that the offense is going to run through Dak. So if you want to use Pollard in the pass game, I'm cool with that. And I know it sounds weird for me, but I'm kind of okay not really running the ball these days. It's time to kind of just be that pass first offense, which I think they kind of been trending to. But I kind of need more of an emphasis on that. There was a couple of plays or a couple of possessions in the Washington game where I felt like they was okay, this possession is the possession that we're going to get Tony going. We're going to get Pollard going. And that resulted in what? Sometimes a play for no game or a negative play. I remember getting frustrated when I think they handed Pollard the ball for, 2 yards, which that's fine. I'm okay with a 2 or 3 yard game. That's cool on first down. But then they, on second down, they decided to throw a swing pass to him. And I think he lost 4 yards. And then I think the next play was a Dak pass to Ferguson that when Ferguson just got killed, Dak was on his Tom Brady, I'm going to get my tight end killed foolishness. But yeah, I can't have possessions like that. That's where I get frustrated, especially when we had the opponent on the ropes at that point. That's what I get frustrated with.
If I could be devil's advocate, I think McCarthy, this entire 3-week process is just kind of been trying to get guys going because he knows what the competition is in. I mean, people could say it's arrogance. I just think it's confidence in your team that we'll get this taken care of regardless of what I'm trying to do here. And when it came time to mattering, like in the double up situation that the Cowboys had that began in the first half and they tried to execute in the second half, he went to his bread and butter and executed, for, to win whatever, I don't know, to make a point in the game, to make an emphasis in the game. So I think McCarthy is doing well, and not really to go against what your point was, Justin, but I just think he knows what he's doing, McCarthy.
Yeah, and I mean, look, like you said, Justin, the offense does run through the pass game, and that's evidenced by the entire season, really. And I don't think that they're necessarily trying to get Tony Pollard going. I mean, there was a drive where Rico takes the first down run and gets a yard as well. Like it's not always on the running back if the offensive line's not going to do anything.
Well, Rudy, if we're drawing up pass plays, Pollard, and screen plays to Pollard, and they get no yards,
they're not always getting no yards. They are making plays there.
All I'm saying is that possession, I would have liked to have the knockout blow there. That was getting a little too cute for my liking.
You dislike the man so much you're nitpicking.
That's not even true. I don't have a problem with him. I just have a problem with.
I've never heard. I don't think this season that you've come on
this
the
man
mic
ain't.
and
This man
said
ain't
a
no
complimentary thing.
This man ain't no bell cow. That's all I'm saying. Like,
I don't need him to be.
But I will say this: I think Rudy pointed out a good point, which was the offensive line is playing a lot better. And Terrence Steele, I know, was the main scapegoat for the Eagles game, but he's been looking better in the run game, and I think the pass game, the offensive line has been fine. And a lot of that goes down to just Dak Prescott's footwork and the pocket. That man's on another level. I know people are impressed with Joe Burrow's footwork and, of course, Tom Brady, which is high praise. But Dak is – I don't know. When I see him back there, man, he just looks super confident, like just in the pocket. And his footwork is perfect. It's damn near perfect. And he takes off at the right times. He gives up on a play on the right times. And it's just been real fun. It's been a real pleasure to watch him these last 3 weeks.
Well, okay. Now enters the quote unquote the season defining stretch of the schedule, the scary, scary, scary part of the schedule, so to speak. Sarcasm, in case y'all couldn't pick that up. They start off with the Seahawks tomorrow. Well, let's focus on the Seahawks for now. Just these last couple of minutes. Overall thoughts on Seattle. That team kind of, I don't know.
Fugazi?
They got talent, but man, do they got problems?
Yeah. I mean, that's a team that I remember when the trade deadline came around, a lot of people were hyping up the Leonard Williams move and talking about how they're a serious contender. And then they follow that up with like the meanest stinker,
2 losses
against the Ravens. And then they go ahead and have a tight game with the Commanders. No, man, I think that the national media believes in the Seahawks more than we do at the moment.
Do they?
But you
Who
just
talks
heard,
about no Seattle Seahawks?
You
right
just
now?
heard Emmanuel Acho talk about we need to get past Seattle for him to believe in Dak.
That's a cartoon character. Don't listen.
And
to
that's
that.
what the national media is. It's a cartoon. All they do is yell and get mad at the Cowboys. He's a perfect caricature of what
ain't
the
nobody
NFL
taking
media
no
is.
Seattle Seahawks seriously, bro. Like that team got like Jason Peters.
Well, look, I will say I would say there's the team I just said they had a tight game with Washington. I think there's tight comparisons there where I think that, okay, let's say they do believe that the Seahawks are a rollover, and a lot of people believe Washington was a rollover, but they can show flashes. And so I don't think that it's a game you completely overlook. You still got to show up and, actually try. But no, I do think we kind of steam past them, honestly.
I was told that the Seattle Seahawks are more serious than the Cowboys because they were active on the trade deadline. and then they were making moves, and they were movers and shakers in the NFC. And clearly, they've been poo-pooed down the stretch since the trade deadline. I think with only one win.
Yeah,
And yeah, I'll agree with Rudy. Like this is the same category of Washington, especially since this game is going to be at home. With Geno Smith banged up, I just think they're very limited, and I kind of, I would be worried if it was in Seattle, but I think once again the Cowboys will just follow the blueprint. It's a Thursday game. Usually doesn't bode well for Seattle, but we will put on the same amount of rest. So
yeah, bro. They since that trade deadline, they got killed by the Ravens, beat the Commanders, obviously, and then found a way to lose to the Rams, and then didn't even bother to show up Thursday against.
Well, we talked
the
about that
49ers.
Rams game because they had to bring in Drew Lock at some point, but they were still not doing much with Geno. This is one we should definitely take care of. But I again don't want to be all.
My only question is, I don't think Geno Smith can carry the water, but I mean we've always heard Seattle since the Legion of Boom is that the defense is the calling card for this team, or at least that's what I've believed since. So my question is that defense still that defense, and can they still win? Can they force a low scoring affair against the Cowboys and stay within striking distance to the point where it banged up Geno Smith like he almost did against the Rams, come back and engineer a final touchdown drive or field goal winning drive. And I just don't think they are that defense.
Yeah, I don't think so. They've allowed a ton of points to like the most random opponents, honestly, this season. Outside of the Ravens beating the heck out of them, Washington drops 26 on them. They allowed a stinky Browns op. Well, it was only 20, but still, no. I don't believe in the Seahawks defense really. I think that's why they had to go out and try to bring in Leonard Williams because they themselves knew that this ain't the best defense they could put out there.
I still think they got our next favorite DB in old Witherspoon, but that man a young cat. So
the cornerback that had like a really good start to the season.
Yeah. But
I was more worried about Diggs, but
man, I've heard from Seattle people he hasn't been having that great of a season. I'm a little disappointed. So hopefully there's no homecoming of sorts for him coming back to the state, or Smith and Jigba, considering that he's from the area. So, and considering that Geno actually wants to get him the ball these days. But
all right, as a Cowboys fan, going to the Thanksgiving game, I was a little nervous, and it had everything to do with the Lions versus Packers game. And just basically, epitome of anything can happen on any given Thursday, or at least when everybody's watching. And what Jordan Love and the Packers were cooking up against the Lions, it was pretty nice. But I think it actually had really to do with what the Goof was cooking up, which was another stinko.
Yeah, that man was turning the ball over left and right, more so than that turnover pie your grandmother was cooking in the kitchen. I don't know what his problem is of late, especially against the Pack. It's not like the Pack been all that noteworthy this year on defense.
Well, what was weird about it, too, was that it was a home game for the Lions, and I feel like the Packers this season have like a magical energy at Lambeau, but away they're just stinky. So I had no idea what was going on in that Lions game. Sorry, Rudy, I cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good. So the Goof obviously was goofing around, turning it over to left and right. But the Packers were passing the hell out of the ball. Like Jordan Love's connection with Christian Watson, what he did at the end of last season, I thought this kind of game was going to happen all year, and it hasn't. But it was the first play of the game. He's like, you know what, Christian Watson, I'm going to throw it to you right now. And he mosses like two defenders. And so it was Goof deciding to turn the ball over at every opportunity he could. But also the Packers were trying actually and completing some great plays.
Yeah, I know we're targeting Goof too, but I kind of thought Dan Campbell kind of got out-coached this game. I kind of thought it was weird how he didn't call. I mean, the most notable thing I saw was like him not calling timeouts towards the end of the game. just letting it go down. I thought that was like questionable. I mean, it wasn't really that big in the grand scheme of things compared to how like hopeless it was by then. But just throughout the game, I thought he made a couple bad decisions that didn't help out. That didn't make Goof look any better.
Quiet as it's kept, the Pack could be a playoff team.
I think that's respectfully kept quiet for a reason.
It's going to be them or the Vikings. And speaking of a turnover machine, that man Dobbs was
Jesus.
one.
All right, I kind of feel like people are like, oh, the nice little story of Dobbs clearly, has run its course, blah blah blah. It's like, I mean, bro, what are we talking about? I mean, I know he had 4 picks, but one of them was like a fourth down pick. And let's be honest, I mean, he still made the play when it counted. He got his team down there when they needed to get ahead. That's all you can ask for this league, man.
That was the ugliest game. I don't
agree with that. I totally just disagree with that. That was a good defensive effort.
A game that didn't score a touchdown. No, dude, both the Bears are like, hey, you know what we'll do? This will surprise them. We'll throw another screen. Like, they weren't even trying. The Vikings have a chance to put it away and get a late field goal or something. They're like, I'm going to do a screen as well. And they lose 2 or 3 yards, and then they're out of field goal range. They weren't even trying. That was just an atrocious game.
No. If this just shows me that people don't like watching defensive efforts. And when defenses
Matt Eberflus stand.
Hey,
Unbelievable.
Man, you see that play by Johnson? Woo. Talk about knowing how to play cover 2. That man made a great play.
Interception?
Yeah, that was a good play.
The DBs were just on another level.
Man, but Dobbs just floated that out there.
Rudy.
I will say where the defense excelled was like run defense.
Rudy, I won't let you discredit that man in a contract year. That man baited him into that pass. That was textbook.
I just said it was a good play, but Dobbs is ass.
No, don't talk about.
Okay. Let me give credit to one cover 2 play, but if I dislike a Cowboys player, I'm going to discredit everything they've ever done. Justin Honore.
No. That was a great play. I feel like that needs to be said. That man needs some love. That man couldn't get out of Chicago when he demanded the trade because they don't want to pay him because that regime broke apparently. And you want to discredit this man for making a contract play? Oh. I respectfully disagree.
Oh God, this guy Justin. I never said it was a bad play, but you cannot tell me that Josh Dobbs had a hell of a game or anything. The man was terrible, left and right.
Who said he had a good game?
Dobbs?
Who said he had a good game? I didn't say he had no good.
I said that I didn't give the corner any credit for making the play.
Oh,
but
Rudy,
Dobbs
you said
threw a nasty pass.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. You ain't giving him credit. Whatever, it doesn't matter. If we want to criticize effort, which I think it's kind of funny, but my boy Deontay Johnson, boy, that man wanna get out of there so bad.
Jeez,
and if you want to talk about a bad game, Rudy, that's a bad game. Steelers versus
that's fine too. There are multiple bad games that exist every week. Let's not act like that's not the case. A game that's 9-9 in the fourth quarter, fine. You can have great defense. Bruh, that was atrocious.
I don't know if we have time for this conversation, but I really think it comes down to, these games are trash. Why are they so trash? Well, nobody knows how to play. But I really think it comes down to teams' emphasis on quarterback play and not emphasizing the run game or having good running backs or having like a good old line to just move the ball. Because we saw AP cook with Christian Ponder, with whoever was thrown back there, and carry the Vikings. But with all these other teams that are stinky, bro, we're just not seeing a good quarterback. But also, we never had that many good quarterbacks in the NFL going back 20 years. We had good running backs and teams that could move the ball just through the running backs. And without that emphasis, I think we're seeing games like Monday night and now this Cincinnati, the Bengals versus Pittsburgh game.
Well, look, don't get me wrong. I didn't say that. No. When it came to defense, they had great run defense as well in that game. Like, I'm not saying it was completely atrocious, but it was atrocious.
Speaking of atrocious, though, I think this is getting lost in the shuffle when it comes to discussing because Rudy, I know you like to kill this man, Josh Allen, but I thought he was the better quarterback on Sunday. But this is getting lost in the shuffle when it comes to criticizing Buffalo. That where are the playmakers on the Buffalo defense?
Yeah, no,
They're all hurt.
I go ahead. Sorry.
Ain't their starting cornerback like blew his ACL? In, week
White.
3?
Yeah, I forgot about. Man, that dude's been hurt so many times. I just forgot about him. Like, I'm sorry.
And I swear, I think they got rid of all their linebackers due to contracts. So I just all they had is the old man Micah Hyde, and that's the only name I know. And Von Miller, I mean, maybe he should be in retirement home, but that might just be me not watching him enough.
Yeah, it's too many times.
Real quick, just because Justin mentioned Josh Allen, and I do tend to kill him. He kept his team in the game. Like, his 2 rushing touchdowns were great. And so, no. I tend to kill him. That tends also to be that people thought he was the new coming of Christ, and I have to fight back when that is the narrative. But no. He kept his team in the game. Don't get me wrong at all.
No, just because that man don't know how to throw the ball and he could run the ball doesn't mean he kept his team in the game. That man also.
Well, but that's the thing is, if Philly is going to give it to you, take it, and he did.
Yeah, and then he said, "You know what, Bradbury? Here's a pick. You look like you need a pick."
That was one bad pass, but yeah, he does pick the worst times to do a stupid play. I'll give him that. I'll give y'all that. But that man was doing everything that game. But if I want to get mad at somebody for not going to win that game, how about Buffalo? You're up 3. How about the defense make a stop? You're up 3 again in overtime. Go make a stop. Go make a play. Like, how hard? I mean, it's hard, but like, hey, maybe get a sack, get them out of field goal range so they don't hit a 59-yarder in the rain. I don't know. Like, maybe I'm asking too much, but
no, I mean, no, you're not wrong. They definitely allowed Philly to come back in that game. They really should have put it away at some point, and they're just like, nah, I don't want to try on defense.
Speaking of somebody who should have put it away, pause. But the Houston Texans, man, that kicker, bro, that man just be killing my boy Stroud and their hopes of taking the divisional crown because, he kind of just. I really like the comeback effort, but the fact that they were losing in that game against the Jags.
What did you think of Doug Peterson's decision before the half? That man gets lucky that TAMU breaks a tackle and takes it all the way to the 1. And he said,
dude,
let me go for it with 1 second to go rather than just taking a field goal.
Well, I mean, so maybe I don't really care too much about the decision because if you do believe in your team to get 1 yard, fine. But the stop, the Texans are nasty right there. That was pretty impressive of them to have that goal line stand.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the Peterson play.
I got a big problem with it.
You got a big problem with it?
Oh yeah.
That's
too damn greedy, bro. They started that drive.
It's a yard.
They hold on. They started that drive They started that drive praying to get 3 points, and just because that man managed to like almost score, just take your 3 points and go, bro. Like,
all right.
Please.
Well, look, my question is though, what was his explanation in the post game? Did he say analytics or did he say, "Nah, I was just being greedy"? Because if he said the latter, then all right, bro, I got to give that man applause.
I don't know. I didn't care too much to go look into it. But
I get what you're saying with, okay, you were just praying for 3 points, but once you're in the circumstance where you're at the 1 yard line, that's different.
Call it tempting faith, being disrespectful. I just don't agree with it. It's just like, bro, okay, cool. Like, nah, man. Like, if there's one thing, if it's like Jerome Bettis in the backfield, then sure. But like, let's be honest. Like, just take your 3 points. It was a close game. It's a division game. A team that's about to catch that might have caught you in the standings. Like, why? Just take your points, bro. Like, that would put you up. I think that would put them up 2 scores. So,
I get what
And
you're saying.
and I think they were supposed to get the ball back at halftime. So go score it in, like when you got
Well, I
time.
think that may also play into why you would
Oh,
go for it, because you're like, all right, if this fails, we get the
but
ball back.
you got an
anyway.
opportunity to make it a 3-point game or 3-possession game coming out of
See, okay,
halftime
so in
after.
most circumstances, when it comes to take your points, when it's like a 4th and 5, and analytics people are like, no, they need to go for it. I tend to be on your side. When you're at the 1 yard line, I'm not going to get mad at the coach for trusting his team.
Yeah, just consider it lucky. They didn't bite him in the ass, but
Well, that kicker for Houston, he didn't want to show up. Not only did he miss the last kick, he went ahead and missed one earlier too. So he's just a bucket of butt.
oh, see, if you would have taken those 3 points, then you wouldn't have been sweating that. They would have made the Texans have to score a touchdown. But I mean, that's revisionist history because who knows how the game plays out from there. I don't like playing that game, but
Hey, I just want to give a quick shout out to the Ravens, bro. I think Metacom said it best when a team as unserious as the Ravens meets another team as unserious as the Chargers. You know, I'm not quoting her, but that was basically what she was saying. And they definitely were both unserious. But I just want to make a quick plea to keep what's his face Staley on the Chargers sideline, because that man's eyebrows and brows situation is just so, I don't know, bro. That's just as entertaining as the product on the field, man. That man's brow game is next level.
did you see his comments? Some reporter asked him because you've been hearing about the whole Quentin Johnson, the TCU receiver fiasco,
Yeah.
like all year that the dude kind of I guess a report. I guess he got sent to the blue tent for something, and they didn't put him back in the game the rest of the way. And like I guess on the last drive that they had a shot to like win the game before Zay Flowers scored, they didn't have him out on the field at all. And they asked him about it post game, and I guess he said something about him not being like 100%. And then like the reporter goes, "Oh, so like." You got other players on the field that aren't 100%. Is it only KJ that has to be 100% to play? And that man Staley had no words. So I'm just like, oh
Damn.
boy, this man getting dunked on the media two weeks in a row, bro. Like,
Yeah, dude, I know you want to keep Staley on the sideline, and hell, I wish he was a head coach in our division, because he knows how to lose a game like no one else. But he gone. He done.
I don't know. Riverboat Ron or Rowboat Ron might be a good competition for that man.
Speaking of which, man, you remember when people were talking about, bro, is Mike McCarthy going to be the first coach to get fired this season? Then they gave
that's been the talk of the season. Every season, like to start the season, that man always has the best odds.
I don't get it. And then they gave that man Frank the papers because the owner don't know how to. That owner, Tepper, he's what everybody thinks Jerry Jones is, bro. Like that man got his hands. Lucky. Yeah, he lucky in Carolina, and that the previous owner was a ghoul and a horrible person. So like that's he real lucky. I mean, he's out. That man threw his own quarterback under the bus this week.
Okay, I was just about to bring that up. Okay, so don't was the quote? So I don't want to get it wrong. Was it something along the lines of like everyone in this organization wanted Stroud, but
everybody else wanted Stroud, but I guess he wanted Bryce Young, so like he gets the final say type of thing. But even if that may be true, why are you saying that out loud, bro? Especially when your when your guy is struggling, like.
Everyone gets on Jerry and this ain't a good behavior, but when he's like, hey, look at my draft board to prove he wanted Tyler Smith or whatever. What the hell are you talking about when you go, yeah, I disregarded everything and went with the guy I want? That's insanity.
Yeah, if you're going to be an idiot, be at least a supportive idiot. Don't be a fucking degenerate.
And the idea that you're paying a crap ton of people a shit ton of money to come up with who's the best quarterback here, and you disregard it all off what you were feeling. That's nonsense.
Well, forget all that. He can feel that way. I don't like why are you telling the world that? Let alone
That's
why are
even
you
worse.
letting your
Yeah.
quarterback know? Why are you letting your struggling quarterback know about that? Like that.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's even
everybody
worse.
else in this building didn't think you were the guy, but
Now he's just walking around the building, seeing all the people who didn't want him. He's like, Jesus
and
Christ! Like,
that man, they got no draft pick this year. No first round draft pick this year, and boy, talk about a disaster. And you had people wanting to pick them to win the division. It's so gross, bro. Oh, and then my
I mean,
favorite.
that division is stinky, but
That man Rudy, you'll appreciate this man. You talk about how great of a businessman he is. This man trying to
oh my.
run his football team like it's a Fortune 500 company trying to get in the black by a Q2 or something. This man said, "Why would this is an old quote though, so this is like I guess like before the season started. He's like, why would I pay? Talking about why would I pay DJ Moore? We don't need a number one receiver. We got a point guard and Bryce Young. I mean, we got some guys, Thielen, Hayden Hurst. They got some good route runnings. Like, bro, talking
yeah, no,
about
that's a
looking to
point.
save a buck just because.
No, see that's where I differ because if you're just cutting to save money, like not for a real purpose, not because you think you have a good back. Yes, he said Hurst and Thielen, but that's not a real plan. He is just being a cheapskate, and cheap doesn't win. You do have to buy quality, and he gave up quality in getting rid of DJ Moore. All right, it's time for everyone's favorite segment where we be picking against the spread, and I'm making a comeback. I think. Chief, how we doing?
Well, Rudy, you're absolutely correct because you are making a comeback, but it's not for the number one spot; it's for the number two spot.
Oh,
Because the honorable honor, it just be pooping it down the stretch.
no way. All right, go ahead and
Hey.
flash the results. Just go ahead and tell me.
Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah,
6,
see, he
7.
not even count. Stop the steal, bro. He not even counting it right, bro.
No, I just forgot the totals for this week, but your boy and Rudy tied with 7 wins, and Justin, you came up lame with 6.
Oh, okay. One lot, like
But
one less win.
but
No.
that is 3 weeks in a row that Rudy has narrowed the gap.
Yeah.
And so now Weezy is just trailing you by 2 games with 74 wins. Justin, you have 76, and your boy's on top still with 80 wins. Back to you, Weezy.
Yes, we talked about this a few weeks ago. It only takes one at a time, and we're on the way. And we're about to add to that today because we're starting with the Thursday night game. We have Seattle traveling to Dallas, take on them Cowboys. The spread is 9 points. Fellas, who you got?
Hey, fuck it. Give me the boys.
I suppose the Cowboys.
And I won't gain any ground here because it's a clean sweep for the Dallas Cowboys. Moving to Sunday, we have the Chargers taking on the Patriots in Massachusetts.
Disgusting.
The spread is currently at plus 5.5 to the Patriots. Who you got?
Ooh, if Staley finds a way to lose this game, then nah, I'm not calling for a man's job, but give me the Chargers, I suppose.
I mean, it's in Massachusetts, so who knows what type of weather is rolling through there. But even still, I gotta go with the brow. Give me the Chargers.
Dude, the Patriots are just so bad.
They don't have a quarterback, my man.
I can't pick them.
I think they got more issues than that.
Give me the Chargers. Dang. All right.
Such as?
Moving on.
It's not the segment for that. The Detroit Lions are traveling to the Big Easy to take on the Saints. The spread is currently NOLA plus 4. Who you got?
Give me the Lions. Derek Carr, he's broken.
The way the Lions been playing makes me wonder, but I could just look at the home team and say the way they've been playing. I don't know how you lose to the Falcons, so give me the Lions.
All right. No ground gained there, as I too will take the Lions. So we move on to the Falcons traveling to the Meadowlands to take on the Jets, where the spread is Jets plus 2.5. Who you got?
God.
Hey, hold on. How can we forget to talk about our boy Ayahuasca? That man on the practice field. Yet again.
Mm,
Thoughts of that clip.
well, just like that video, things are gonna be slow. It ain't. Don't get me started.
Well,
Yeah, there's a reason it's in slow motion, Justin, because that man can't get out of slow motion gear.
nah, man, that dude funny. Like if he pulls that off, I'll think it's kind of funny because that's must see TV. That man trying to put butts in the seats at New
How-
Meadowlands.
Okay.
How
We're
soon
taking
until
a pause
Rodgers
from
lost?
the pick'ems. I
No,
gotta say
hold
this.
on.
You're feeding into the Hard Knocks hysteria that I tried to shut down at the beginning of the season. Must see TV, Justin.
He
Get that out
is,
of here.
bro. I gotta see
Oh.
that. I gotta see that man. I gotta see if he gonna actually dare step on that field. I
How-
gotta see.
Wait, is
You know he's
Rodgers? Is Rodgers just about to announce his own medical care group and
Oh man,
start
that's
a
better
whole
than
new chain?
that's
That
better
man
than the
just healed an
TB.
Achilles.
That man better than the TB12 water, bro. Come on, like that man said, Tom Brady, I'll raise you one, and
I'll raise you 3, bro. That man just said I repaired my own Achilles.
oh man, he got a fan in me. I gotta see it.
You're buying in.
Oh yeah. I mean, he
I'm
ain't playing
disgusted.
this week. No way he plays this week. But if he
I know
dares,
you're a part of the media and you're looking for attention. I'm a man of reason. That's nonsense.
what? You're not. You're telling me you
What?
wouldn't go see it. You telling me you wouldn't
No,
go watch
I would
it?
not seek out
Not even
the
for
Jets.
one drive. Not even for one drive.
Dude,
One
I
play.
saw Hard Knocks, and 5 minutes into it, I gave up on the entire thing.
No, this is different. This
and
is
also, you're saying seek
this
out
is a-
like that's not going to be all over my feed.
This-
I wouldn't be able to avoid it.
this is a man fighting logic. I gotta see that. That's an.
If
Nonetheless-
you phrase it as a man fighting logic,
Yeah, nonetheless,
you did
this
a
is
good
a-
job as a media member. You got
This
it.
is another man fighting logic. Give me the Jets to win this game because that team.
All
is
right, back to the
done.
pick'ems. Justin, you said you got the Jets.
Yeah, that team is done, but they're playing the Falcons, and
Fuck it. I'll take the Falcons.
Thank you. This is where I gain one on Ian. This is the team from the Meadowlands game to lose. Give me the Jets.
Wait, what?
Why did I phrase it that way? I don't know why I phrased it that way. All right, now we're moving on to a Super Bowl matchup from about 15 years ago. We have the Arizona Cardinals traveling to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. Right now, the Cardinals
What a
are
random
at
Super Bowl.
plus 5.5. Who you got?
this man Rudy daydreaming about James Harrison running down the sideline. Or something like, what's the spread again?
Plus 5.5 to the Cardinals.
Give me Tomlin, I suppose.
I would just like to withdraw my pick for the last 3 games because, good lord. But I will also take the Tomlins.
At home, and Cardinals messing around last week. Yeah, clean sweep for the Steelers. I was about to say
He
the
almost
Tomlins
called it the
again,
Tomlins.
but yeah. All right, moving on to a divisional matchup. We've got the Indianapolis Colts traveling to Tennessee to take on the Titans. The Titans are at +1 right now.
Oh,
Who you got?
how?
Look, I know they're division foes and they play each other twice a year, but I feel like this game has been up like 10 times this year. I don't understand how they keep playing each other, but give me the Colts. What was the spread though?
It was one,
+1
bro.
to the Titans.
Yeah, give me the
my
Colts. I don't understand how to pick them. Like,
Yeah, one's not enough for me to trust Mayo and Coffee Boy. I will take the Colts as well. Moving on. We've got the Miami Dolphins. They'll be traveling to our nation's capital to take on the Commanders. The Commanders are +9.5 at the moment. Who you got?
Miami, I suppose.
Hey, fuck it. I'll take the Commandos.
Yeah, 9.5. That's a pretty hefty spread. I'll say, damn. We just got rid of Jack Del Rio. Go ahead and give me the Commandos to cover at home.
Ugh, bro, you saw their
Jesus Christ.
secondary.
It's nasty, but
This is gonna be the MVP.
you know how unserious.
Tyreek Hill gonna go for like 200 something, and he's gonna
And yet they
re-enter the
only win by
MVP.
8
Okay, but go ahead.
Or 9.
or 9. Moving on. We've got the Denver Broncos. They will be traveling down here to Texas to take on the Houston Texans. Currently, the Broncos are a +3.5. Who you got?
Hey, fuck it. Give me the Broncos. Sorry.
Give me Denver as well.
Nah. You boys wrong. Go ahead and give me the Stroud boys.
Ugh.
Whoa.
You're not proud of that, I know.
I regret it. I regretted it the second I said it. I'm not Stroud of that. Moving on. We've got the David Teppers taking on the Tampa Bay
name
Buccaneers.
Can we just get somebody else to name this segment?
No one can do it as good as me. Go
Fair
ahead. Sorry, I'll repeat. Carolina's traveling to Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers. Currently, Carolina is +5.5. Who do y'all got?
Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I don't know how the Panthers organization even will a win after the way Tepper be treating them. So,
Well, Rudy's boys gave him a win, so like.
No. Tampa is going to cover that. I don't know how the organization of Carolina even exists at the moment. Moving on. We've got the 49ers traveling to Philly to take on the Eagles. The spread is currently 2.5 points +2.5 to the Eagles. Who you got?
Give me San Fran.
Weezy, go ahead.
I'll go ahead and say that Philly wins. I hate it's disgusting, but yeah.
But how does this team get every tough game at home? But yeah, let me just use psychology and say I take the Eagles, so I'm happy either way.
Fair enough. Moving on. We've got a beautiful matchup. We've got the Cleveland Browns traveling to LA to take on the Rams. The spread is currently +3.5 to Cleveland. Who you got?
Is Stafford still alive, or is that man dead?
Well, you're not even asking the right question. Joe Flacco is playing this week.
Well, I knew the answer to that.
Well, no, because I guess whatever. Yes, Stafford's still alive.
All right, give me the Rams then.
I too will go LA.
Folks, this is where I get one back. Give me Flacco. Moving to Sunday Night Football. The Kansas City Chiefs are taking on Go Pack Go in Go Pack Go territory. It is +6 to Go Pack Go. Who you got?
Give me the cover.
Yeah, look, I just announced that crazy things happen at Lambeau, so I'd be a bitch if I didn't take them now. So give me the Packers.
All right. It's a clean sweep for the Cheeseheads. Give me Green Bay. And finally, Sunday Night Football. We have the Joe Burrow Monday. Apologies. We have the Bengals traveling to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. Currently, the Bengals are have +8.5. Who you
got? Give me the Bengals to cover.
Yeah. Give me the Bengals.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why I'm making a comeback. Go ahead and give me Saxonville.
Okay. Anything else?
Nah.
CeeDee Lamb, blah, 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 blah. Let's get out of here.